Welcome back to my podcast. This week's topic is learning to trust your instinct, especially as a parent.
Welcome to the Light, Hope, and Healing podcast, where we discuss why you have stress, anxiety, pain, illness, and how to heal from it. I am your host, Tracy Gohrick. My background is a healing coach, energy healer, spiritual mentor, intuitive, and channel.
Welcome back to my podcast. This week's topic is learning to trust your instinct, especially as a parent. Now, I have talked about, trusting your instinct and learning and going back to that because we have been programmed to not trust ourselves, And for some reason, instinctively, I did that a lot my whole life. And maybe part of that is why I'm where I'm at in being a healing coach and an energy healer and a spiritual mentor, is because I needed to learn that quickly. And so I could share it with others on how to overcome that. I mean, from an early age, I would spit medicine out. So I think I was, gosh, maybe 5, and I wouldn't take an antibiotic. And that doesn't mean I never did take one, and guess what? I didn't take the antibiotic and I still got better. So at 5. And I remember my mom being so frustrated because she couldn't get the medicine down me. But she called the doctor and he's like, well, if you just can't give it to her, then. And I did. I cleared up. So we need to get back to trusting our instinct. I think we're all born trusting our instinct, but we've been programmed to not trust it, right? That doesn't mean you don't go to the doctor or get help from the doctor or whatever, but it means trusting your instinct and following it. So this came up because when my kids were little, the whole thing was, oh, you need to let them cry it out, have them sleep in their crib by themselves. You've got to train them. You got to train them or your life's going to be miserable and they're going to grow up and be spoiled children. And I remember with my first one, we maybe put him in one time and tried to get him to just go to sleep crying. I didn't even last a couple of minutes before I went and got him. And from then on, I didn't. Now, I am probably going to be talking about some stuff that some of you might think is just totally crazy, but let me tell you, my oldest is 26, my middle is 24, and my youngest is 21. And so when I'm discussing this with you, I'm coming from experience and watching them as adults now. And with what I did for them when they were children, it didn't make them spoiled. Okay. So I started, because I nursed for quite a while, I co-slept with them in the bed too. Now there is ways to co-sleep with them if you're afraid that you might roll over on them and have a thing by the side of their bed. Now, me talking about this is not saying you should do this. I did this for my well-being because I got more sleep. And it worked well for me and my husband and my family. So we co-slept with them for a long time, actually until the next child would come along. And then my husband would actually take the older one and go sleep with them while I would sleep with the baby. Now, back in the day, I mean, I've thought about this. I feel like we've been programmed that we shouldn't do that to our kids, and it's part of maybe the agenda that's hurting us by telling us to go against our instinct on what we think we should do with our kids, because now people really truly think you're going to harm your kids if you don't let them cry it out in their beds and sleeping alone, and it really affects them. Now, I know some of you might be offended by what I'm saying right now, but I want you to really think about it. If you did cry it out with your kids, how did it feel within you? For me and a lot of people I know, it goes against everything in them. And even the ones I've seen on videos where they're like, okay, we had to sleep train our kid, and it was hard on me. Like the parents are in the other room crying because they know or feel they have to do that because they've been told that that's the only way that their kids are going to turn out okay. That's another way we've been taught to go against our instinct, right? So I want you to, at least if you're a young mom or haven't had kids yet, just sit back and really think about what you feel is right to do, not what the books tell you to do. Because I was doing what I felt right to do without before I even read the books, right? Actually, no, I did read the books and I was like, that's not good for me. I felt it right away, even though I tried it for a minute. It was 1 minute, literally. Learn to go back to your instinct, right? Babies aren't meant to be away from us. They're meant to be with us as much as possible, right? And I know some of you have to work and that's fine and good. That's not what I'm saying. But when you're with them, be with them. It's a small, short time. This is from a mom who has a 26, a 24, and a 21-year-old. It's a small time where you really have to really care for them and be with them a lot. And I know sometimes in the moment it might feel overwhelming, but in the end it was easier for me. And if that doesn't work for you, that's okay too, but do the best you can to be with them as much as you can because they were meant to. And when you look at if you do have those feelings about it, a lot of times that's going to be some of the trauma from your past or maybe how you were raised. And so it doesn't seem right to you. And what I would challenge you to do is like look at that. Say, why does this bother me? Is it something in my past and my trauma that needed to be healed because I can't do this with my child because it wasn't done for me, or I'm told that it's going to harm them, they're going to be very dependent on me if I do this with them, whatever it is. And really look at that for yourself to see what is going on for you. Because we really have been programmed to pull away from taking care of our children the way that we were meant to take care of our children. You look at these tribes, indigenous tribes, they all have their children with them and they wear them, you know, and pretty sure they all turn out good. And like I said, I did it, and all my kids are not dependent on me. They're all great young men living great lives, doing really well for themselves, all of them. And I did all the stuff for attachment parenting when they were little. And so I encourage you to look at what's going through your mind if you feel like that's not something for you. Not saying you have to do it, but just look at it for you and see, is it the programming? Is it because I'm afraid they're not going to turn out? Or is it something that's from traumatic from your past that makes it difficult for you? Because it's something you're going to want to heal because we're trying, us now that are here on earth, we're breaking those generational curses, the generational traumas that just keep carrying over and over and over because we keep repeating them. We're here to break those, right? So take a look at that and just know that being with your child, holding your child, breastfeeding your child, whatever it is not going to spoil them. It's going to make them stronger, more independent when they get older, because they will have been secure in childhood. Okay. So, like I said, have a look. If you have any questions, let me know on that. I would love to answer them for you. And it's just something interesting that, I kind of forgot about all that stuff when they were little. And something came up recently. I think they probably saw a video where a YouTube tuber was talking about how they had to sleep train their child and how difficult it was on them, but they had to do it. And it brought up the memories for me that you don't have to do it. They'll be okay. They'll be okay. And they will learn to sleep, and probably much quicker or in a healthier way by doing it natural way. All right. I want to share with you the sponsor of this video. It is the X39 Lifewave patches. These are amazing, and I want you to know I don't share anything or recommend anything unless I use it for myself and I totally love it. Okay, I don't do any of that. These I love. My mother, my husband, and I have all been on them since August. And immediately what I noticed was much more energy in myself. I had much more energy to get things done and just felt a lot of energy during the day. And I didn't get tired in the afternoon like I would sometimes. And I also noticed in myself that I had a mole up here and it just disappeared, right? And I had a few more like later that happened too. And then I noticed that I had had a cut on my hand and it healed really quickly. Okay. And then so with my mother, she is almost 80 and she would get tired in the late afternoon and take naps usually around 2, 3, or 4, right? And once she got on these patches, she no longer needed the nap. She wasn't taking naps anymore. She was had more energy herself and was more well rested. And then finally with my husband, and these are just a few of the results, okay? Finally with my husband, he had a lot more energy. He's been retired and he kind of got in a slump and he had a lot of energy once he got on these patches. A couple of days after getting on the patches, he pulled his shoulder out of his socket, which he's done before. He popped it back in anyway, and it bruised horribly. He couldn't lift his arm up. He hurt it pretty bad. It's something he does a lot. And the next day, he was able to lift it halfway up. And then the day after that, he was able to lift it all the way up again, which that's never happened when he's dislocated his shoulder. And there was tons of bruising all the way down his shoulder, and that cleared up, and it was much lighter like the second day, and it cleared up much quicker, and he just healed so much faster after being on these patches. So here's what they look like. And you just take it off and you put it on. Well, this is one place you put it, is the back of the neck, and I hope this is going to show up in the video right there. Back of the neck is where I put mine. And you can put it on your stomach, and there's many other places you can put it, but there is information in the description below on these patches. They are amazing, and I want to just give you what it says on the website about it, just so you have an idea of how it works and why it works. The technology of the X39 patches is phototherapy. It gently stimulates the skin with light, which stimulates the natural flow of energy in the body, which improves the health in the body. So like I said, we've had amazing results. I love them. My mom loves them. My husband loves them. I have quite a few other people on them, and they've all had amazing results. It's helped improve their health and helps them recover quicker. So if you have any questions or are interested in them, go ahead and reach out to me. All the information to contact me is below. There is also a Start X39 website. You can go check it out. Or if you just want to order it, there's a link to order it in the description below. But check them out. I am been so happy on these patches. So in the description below, there's a free healing meditation. People have gotten a lot from that. So click on the link and you'll get it in your email. There's many ways to work with me. All the links are in the description below. So if you're interested in working with me, just check the links. Also, my email is in there. So if you have any questions, you can reach out. And if there's any topics you want me to discuss, email me and let me know. I would love to discuss topics you're interested in. And like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Now go do something you love. Every day, do something you love. Do something that lifts you up and brings you joy. Whether it's sing, dance, run around the yard, do at least one thing every day that brings you joy. And then do at least one thing every day of self-care. Drink tea, Epsom salt bath, pray, meditate. Whatever it is for you, do at least one self-care every day. And then look for the good in everything. Look for the good in everything and in everyone. And when you see something in someone that stands out to you, say it to them. And finally, write 10 things you're grateful for. Do these things, and I promise you're going to see a difference in your life. So that's what I've got for today. I love you all, and I'll see you soon.